Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to my video journal. I am journaling while I drive on this fantastic November 22, 20, yeah, November 21st, 2021. Um, and yeah, this is the first journal that I'm doing like this. I've been thinking about doing it for a while, and I've decided I probably need to have a time when I can actually do this, and I really need to record my thoughts down every day in some kind of format where I can remember what I was thinking about. I've been, trying to do that for years, but as I optimize my schedule, it's just been harder and harder to fit it in, and it turns out, I've been having to balance. While I'm driving is the perfect time to learn about stuff, but it's also I really need to get this in there because I really need to record my existence, right? Because supposedly we have a limited existence here on Earth, so I should be, every day is precious. That's what I've come to learn at this point in my life, and I need to treat it as such. I'm trying to not have a wasted day. I have a counter until my presumed death day, of presuming that I die naturally. And just based on the average human lifespan of when I turn 80 years old. And, every day that I pass, that clock that I have, that I check every morning, is kind of a powerful reminder, in a way. I got the idea to have a countdown to death clock from actually the Mystery Method. Yes, I was reading or listening to that audiobook, and I was listening to the second chapter on the impetus for survival that humans have. And I don't know, it was interesting to me. Well, whatever. A good thing about this is that this is a regular time period, and I want to know about every single one of those days, and I want to be able to recollect back to those days. And I've missed too many days of journaling already, and I need to just make sure I can do it. And quite a number of these days of journaling have gone down in my history books as they've been sporadic, but they've been they're just some asshole who's just driving like crazy, which I should have expected because it's Jersey City, Tunnelly Avenue. Anyway, so on to the actual journaling part. I've given enough precursor. So yeah, I am. How do I say? So I was doing a writers group this weekend, a retreat. The first retreat I've done in quite a long time. It makes me want to go out and do retreats again. The interesting thing about this is that, because I've been so out of the whole travel thing for a long time, can stay somewhere over a few days, that I just kind of and I knew this would be the case. I was a little out of it. I was prepared, and thanks to my wife, and thanks to just preparedness in general, for things in my life. But there was optimizations which I felt I could have made, which include learning more about the location that I was going to. So I plan to do that more from now on. Just learn about the places that I'm going to more. I was inspired to do that via an architecture, or a tour of the city that I was given of an area that I actually worked in for several years, and that I grew up basically in. I actually went to school there, but I really didn't know anything about. So the guy who gave this tour, he was actually he was knowledgeable and versed in the area, and I was kind of impressed, because I was thinking to myself, wow, how much am I missing around me, right? That's basically what I want to get a hold on, and I've gotten a hold on a lot of that, right? Over the years, I started off a blank slate essentially, and I've been in the same area for so long. I should know everything about the place. I still don't know very much, but you know what? I'm gonna make an effort to learn about my environment. And anyway, that's one thing I actually should have done for this trip. So this trip was to a place in Pennsylvania for this thing called the Highlights Foundation, which apparently, according to my wife, did cartoons for and illustrations, and they're famous in the writer circle for such. There's interesting people that I met over there. I really didn't talk to too many people, and I think it's interesting because part of this journal is a little bit of therapy for me. I used to go to the writers group in 2011. That's when I started, and I started going to that group because I wanted to have I actually was between jobs at that point, and I was looking for a new direction in my career. And at that point, like, I was looking to, I had completely quit my other job cold turkey with a very meager amount of money saved up, to kind of get a business started and become self-sustaining as fast as possible, to something that my dad supported at the time. But anyway, that's a long story. The point is, I met the writers group then, and I'd gone through several iterations over the years with them. It's been about 10 years or whatnot since I've known the writers group. But the thing is, I've missed many times of socializing with them. I've not really been, a person who's been very, engaged with them over the years. And I think part of the reason for that is just, I don't know, I've just never been a very engaged individual. I've never really socially felt connected with them. I've been generally introverted when dealing with them. And I think part of that is just because, I don't know, they talk a lot. And, well, that's great and all. The thing is, I just realized that more and more that I don't really relate to anybody in the writers group. I don't relate to the dynamic of the writers group. And that's really what it is. It's like, everyone has stories about all sorts of things that they like talking about, and I can't find a way to really connect to anybody there. I have a lot of interests of my own. Like, I have basically these like grandiose interests, and the thing is, I know that people connect over like little interests, and especially writers. The other thing is, I didn't have any concrete story or writing material which I put together, which everybody on this retreat, they had something that they were working on or planning on working on. And I'm sure a lot of them, there were workshops and all these things, a fair amount which I missed, but that's okay. I'm not like beating myself up really. I'm getting a little bit of it, but I'm not really beating myself up over it, because I figure next time I'll be on the ball. I don't know when they're going to do a retreat again. The last time they did a retreat was 7 years earlier, which I was at that too, and I think I was fairly engaged as part of that retreat. But the issue is that, with these groups, you never know who's just going to like flat out reject you. That's when I am still fairly afraid of rejection. So whenever I go to a group of people that I haven't talked to the writers group for quite a bit. So they I felt distant from them, and the thing is, I also felt like I wanted to keep my distance because I didn't want to be presumptive of them knowing me for a long time. The thing is, I don't know why. I also just wanted to test how much they really cared. And just the thing, some people just don't care about some other people, and this has been a crux of my angst for many years, that my social angst, especially because fitting into groups requires me to do so much more effort than I feel that other people do. So the thing is, it just takes too much effort to fit in with the writers group, and that might just be effort for me. I know many people fit in pretty well, and so I won't use the template of others to define the general template, the template of myself, my individual anecdotal experience, to determine how the general trend is. But yeah, that's for me. But the thing is, I did this for my wife. I wanted to go. Also, it was a nice experience. I went to this cabin. It was great. Found this cool walking sticks, which I have Insta pictures of, and I fell asleep right away at this place. So that being said, it was I fell asleep. I think I just haven't gotten. Also, I'm not used to traveling. That's one of the big problems here. Wow. Just some car shit. One thing I'll never... there was a lot of asshole drivers. That's what I remember about Pennsylvania roads. As I was going up and down these roads, people... I was being tailgated left and right for doing the speed limit. That's one thing that irked me that had nothing to do with the actual environment. And that's the thing. It's I'm not going to break the speed limit and kill myself or get arrested for a few seconds of your happiness. They can intimidate. People just like to be dicks for whatever reason. They feel so much power from having such a little, extra protection around them. It was, of course, guys in pickup trucks or whatever that was tailgating me on the road. And I don't know. I mean, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to bitch too much about tailgating assholes, because there's just going to be those everywhere on every country road if you try to obey the law. So that's one thing. But other than that, driving there was interesting. I actually was much more interested in the parts of New Jersey that I had to go through before getting there. That I should have frankly taken some video of. Which I may do that another time when I'm on one of my trips, and that's actually a great idea for this car cam. I don't know. I should call this car times or something like that. But yeah, so that's just basically it. Anyway, I felt disconnected. I felt I could have been rude to members of the group. I mean, not explicitly, exceptionally, like get out of my face kind of, but I was fairly off-puttish, and that's something I have to work on. The thing is, I just can't stand, I already have this vibe. I always have this vibe when I go into a group that they're just going to think they're better than me. That they're just going to think I don't know how to communicate, and the only way they're going to communicate with me is if they have pity for me. I don't want to, I might as well just sit in a corner and not open up to anybody at that point. And that's the thing, at least that, for me, and maybe it's a kind of a misinterpretation, but that makes me feel I may, if they address me, open up a little bit, but and that's what I did, but I feel that at this point in time in my life, I'm just tired of trying so much to fit in with other people, especially when I feel like I'm the fourth wheel, the fifth wheel. I felt like that so much with groups of people throughout my life. And that I decided that I don't want to do that anymore. Wow. Anyway, of course, Lyndhurst. What are you gonna do? Just I don't know. People driving are just the worst in the city, in every freaking Jersey City, and Jersey City. In fact, the people are just horrendous drivers. Anyway. Let me get back to it. So yeah, but my wife had a lot of fun. She stayed. I really am glad that she's socializing with these people around her, because she connects with them. She writes. She enjoys it, and she's finding herself, I notice, more and more through the connections she makes with these people. So, if anything, most of the group, most of the interactions that I keep up with this group are for her, and that's the thing, I feel like I don't, I'll keep going through it, but the thing is, the next time I think I have to make more of an effort to at least kind of pretend I care. It's just I always feel that I'm going to be judged as, people, that's one thing that stuck with me when I was reading a lot of these self-help books back in the day, that people will always think they're better than you. For some people, there's people who respect other people right out the box. I don't feel people respect me, and sometimes I just want to be who's just going to come up to me and think I'm worth talking to? And if that's not the case, then I'll be the outsider, and I'll be happy with it. I'll get the experiences. I've been the outsider in many cases in my life, and I don't care if I sound like I'm rambling, by the way, because this is my journal, and if you happen to chance upon it on the internet, then well, kudos to you. But I've been the writer, I've been the outsider many times in my life, and a lot of the times I spent the entire day being the outsider, just thinking about how I was the outsider instead of enjoying just fine my natural outsider state. I could have made some effort, but I was so bummed by rejection by being the outsider that I just was forgetting to enjoy the surroundings of the experience. And there are many ways to do that. For example, this is something I should have reminded myself. The group facilitator will usually be, if you make an effort to talk to them, they will usually help connect you to the rest of the group or whatever. And when I go to my meetup groups, when I do that, from now on, I think I'll be doing that. One thing I like about meetup groups also is that, and this is other groups besides the writers group. I just thought about it now that, meetup groups are, they're kind of weirdly a chance to go experience, things as if it's a blank slate. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's just something that I kind of feel comfortable doing because, I feel that, given any interaction, I'm, doing a little bit of psychology, just journaling here. Any interaction I've had in my life that's been in a group setting, I've always ended up on the bottom of that group for whatever reason. And I don't want to do that anymore. And if I have to feel like an off-puttish jig sometimes, maybe I slightly am becoming that way, that's fine, because I want to maintain my dignity. I don't like feeling like the outcast having tried. So the only, I guess, way that I feel like, and the thing I regret in the past is like, even though, I might have been quiet, there were things I could have done to like forget about the rest of the group, to just enjoy just go along with the group's like top level dynamics, and then just enjoy the rest of the group. Because like honestly, like I enjoy the experience of everything else, and do things on my own despite being with a group. That was a strategy that I feel that I could have employed here, and I did employ it to an extent. So I could have talked with the staff, I could have talked with other people. Anyway, I kind of made that mistake. I won't make that mistake again if I have to go. I know that this Friday there's going to be some kind of Friendsgiving party thing, so I'll try to be enjoying the actual Friendsgiving thing, like whatever. I don't, I believe in Friendsgiving being about like friends and stuff like that, like actual friends. Like I don't consider like the writers group people my friends per se. I have just kind of been satisfied with them being Lauren's friends, my wife, and that's fine. But anyway, now to the main event. Like the main thing about this is that, like, I think one thing that was a kind of more of a bummer also was that I didn't really get anything done per se. I did like rediscover the fact that I need to be like super focused on like learning general relativity. I've been wanting to do that for years. There's many subjects I've been wanting to learn for years, and I've never got to it. And I'm tired of kind of like living by that excuse that I just never got to it. So, like this video journal thing has to be a part of my life. My research into longevity has to be a part of my life, and I have to make the study of relativity and the stars and all that a part of my life. I bought a telescope this weekend, a beginner's telescope, but I there's a lot of things I started. I have a beginner's chemistry set, which I didn't get far with, which I bought in 2019, and it's still sitting in my basement, but I will get to it. I've got to start my aquarium up. There's so many things that I can do that I don't really need other people, and I can, to put myself on display, and with all my hobbies, and or whatever. There's a whole world of things that don't require other people's approval for me to be really satisfied with. So anyway, that's a little bit of that. So I'm done with this journal for today. Here's my car journal experiment. I really need something to mount my phone on the car and actually take a real solid journal. So I'll do that tomorrow. I got shit to do today for tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes. All right, see you guys later.